Right, just to continue with the brickwork bonding, we're just going to recap on what we've done so far. We're working from the brickwork bonding booklet that we have, and the first exercise that we looked at was the one that had the 2 brick space between the end of the wall and the junction. The last one that we looked at in the last video was the one with a brick and 3/4 to the junction. So the one that we're going to look at now is, we have 2 on here in the booklet, but we're just going to concentrate on this one here, which is a 1.5 bricks. Okay, so as with the previous 2, I've enlarged the drawing so that you can see it better. And again, we're just going to go through exactly the same principles. So as we said before, we look at the center of the junction on both of these, just so that we can make sure that we have a mirror image here. So again, as always, we start off with a half. It doesn't have to be, but obviously with these exercises, I just think it's nice to start each one at the same place, which is like a half here. So every drawing that we look at, and when I come to mark them, I can see everyone should have the same first course by starting with the header. So again, if we look at this, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4. A stretcher takes us right up to the junction, which is a good thing, because obviously we know that we could put a stretcher in there. But again, just mark it lightly, and we would say that that one is a Tari brick. On the previous 2, the first course butted up, but now we're a 1.5 bricks. This has now changed. It looks like that our Tari brick is on the first course, so that there would be a whole brick through there. So as we said, if we have a stretcher there, mirror image, we should have a stretcher here. So there's our stretcher that side. So if we look at this, we would finish off there with a header. So header, stretcher or a whole brick, and a stretcher or a whole brick in there, and we have 2 that side. So looking at the second course, well, we know that the first course we started with a header, so we really want to be looking at having a stretcher. Now again, one of the rules of bonding that we said before, if this one ties over, this one will butt up. So we know straight away, without even working what the bricks are, we know that we're going to have a line there, because this one went over. This one tied over, this one must butt up. And if this one butts up, we know we have no alternative, but they are going to have to be like that. So we have a stretcher and a stretcher there. So this is the center of our wall, so we can see automatically by doing that we have created here a 3/4. And with the rules of bonding, if we have the center there and a 3/4 there, then we must have a 3/4 this side. So there would be our next 3/4. And again, just to verify that, you can see that we have a 1/4 there, another 1/4 and a 1/4. So we've got 3/4 to there. And again, we would have a full brick or a stretcher there. Okay, right. I did mention before that we need to be very careful with how we draw these when we're marking these out. We don't want to use a pen, because if we make an error, it's very, very difficult to put it right, or you wouldn't be able to with a pen. If we went too hard with a pencil, again, we could try to erase a mistake, and the mark will still linger, which will can confuse you when you're trying to work the rest out. So again, we all make mistakes, and I don't know if in the first video on the bonding that we looked at, you noticed there was a slight error there. I'm now going to return to that just to point out the error that I made. And again, if you do watch the first video again, you'll see that when I talked about this 3/4 here, that was after I'd marked what I said was a stretcher, but you can see my stretcher was marked incorrectly. So again, as we said, if we marked our pencil marks nice and light, you can see there's still a smudge of a mark there, which can be distracting. So we know 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, again, just to emphasize, we had a stretcher there and we have a stretcher here, so we must have a stretcher here. 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath. So you can see that this one here, if we come down, is half bond now, where before when I looked at that I thought to myself that didn't look right. So again, on checking it, I could see that I'd accidentally marked a 3/4 when I did say on the video it was a stretcher. So I marked a 3/4 when it should have been there. So again, keep your lines very, very light to start off with until you have marked everything in, everything works, and then you can go in heavier. Now, just to finish this one off again, we've got 2 stretchers there, so we know we have a header because we had a stretcher there, a header. So then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have this brick in here. This, incidentally, when it does go across, is called the Tari Brick. So we have the Tari Brick going across, and this calls button up. Right, okay, the next lot of bonding that we're going to look at is end piers, like gate piers and things. So we'll have some drawings and we'll be doing piers, and then we'll move on to attached piers.